It's crazy to think that the world champions could be potentially 3-0'd right now, but everyone, we are ready for picks and bans of game number 3, Rival versus NRG.
It's going to be fairly interesting here to see if they opt for the same bans, Fafnir, Odin, as they're still afraid of that, or if they actually want to do Fafnir and then an Athena. Either way, they will have to dealing with something that they do not want to face in any form.
I think I would prefer to still see NRG opting for the Fafnir Odin bans, but maybe actually selecting the Athena just to rip it away from Rival, because if they wanted to look for an Ares selection, they don't have that same sort of initiation at least.
Well, you're right about that, Fafnir being banned out, and Odin as well. Looks like they're sticking to their guns with the first set of bans.
Yeah, so far fairly straightforward here. Actually, something that struck me is that NRG hasn't really interacted with Rival's draft outside of the bans, more in the picks, since they don't really know what Rival are doing. Rival are drafting...
They're doing what they want.
They're drafting B-tier gods, which means gods that really work well if you play them perfectly in a good team comp. And NRG, they can't take them away because they're not really willing to play them themselves.
It's the same bans that we saw game 1, which is surprising because you think NRG would try and at least change something up there, but you can't ban Ares and Athena and Poseidon and Isis. Well, Sylvanas coming out for NRG.
If this is going to be a salty runback, I'd be very surprised.
A salty runback. I mean, don't get me wrong, iRaffer Sylvanas was fantastic at the start of that game. His blinks and being able to zone out the enemy team, there were several times where his teammates were getting engaged on. He blinked in, zoned out the backliners, and they were able to get a kill.
It was really amazing, really. I loved it, what he did, and the reaction time, just being able to perfectly on the frame, jump in there after the Athena taunt comes out. Just really awesome. I think Sylvanas is good here still, and it's a comfort pick.
Sylvanas is definitely still a strong pick for NRG, and it provides the pressure that I think NRG would be looking for, considering that they did let iRaffer start alone in game number 2 so that they could prioritize the solo jungle pressure. But Rival, no real surprise. This is the 3rd time in a row that Deathwalker has actually had the opportunity to play Osiris, and he's done a pretty excellent job on it, not necessarily in the laning period, but his team fight has been absolutely insane as far as peeling for his teammates, and it's actually going to be Rival adjusting a little bit to NRG. So they didn't want to ban the Kraken this time. They just wanted to take it themselves.
Interesting. So they're giving up their Athena pick right now.
Yeah, they're also giving up a potential Hunter pick, but that is fine since both Ullr and AMC are still open. Now that's very interesting. Seeing how Rival are having the Kraken, it kind of base energy to drafting an Erlang Shen. Then, however, Rival could then again counter once more with an Odin pick that shuts down the healing from Erlang Shen.
Unfortunately, Odin was banned.
Oh, right. Sorry.
I kind of want to see NRG with the AMC selection, although I have a strong feeling it will be the Ullr.
Probably,
because emilitoo is so good on that god. We haven't seen a successful win yet out of the 2 matches where Ullr has made it through, but it's just a lot of pressure, and if comfort is usually best in a competitive scenario at times.
I personally am very up for swapping it up, though. I feel like a new god for every set feels amazing. For NRG, for adapting, however, it is Circuit yet once again.
Seems like he's comfortable with that.
And they've been prioritizing this Circuit pick as well in their top 3 every single match so far. And of course, Ullr.
There's the Ullr follow-up, but Rival did so well with Hachiman. Vote was like 7-1, 6-1.
Yeah, he played lights out, really. The farm he got in the early game, and then it seems NRG are going for the same draft again, and Rival are happy with it. They get the pressure in the solo with Osiris, Kraken, and Ice's comfort pick for Wlfy. Just he shined really that game. He had great ults. I liked it.
Wlfy's utility between Poseidon and Isis, just zoning out the members. I mean, you don't want to get into that whirlpool. You don't want to get stunned up by the Isis ball. He's so scary for being such a squishy mage.
I do appreciate the Athena ban, though, from NRG. I think that's a wise choice. Don't want to have that taunt combination coming in alongside of the Kraken. There's already, again, a decent amount of crowd control and utility just between the Kraken and Isis alone. I'd imagine that it's Ice playing Kraken.
Looks like Rival sticking with their standard bans right here. Xingqian and Sobek banned out for NRG.
Sobek is an interesting one. We've not seen it in this set so far. Seems like something that Rival just doesn't want to face off against. Geb banned as well here.
Yeah.
Makes me kind of curious what Guardian we're going to see from Rival, seeing how a lot of them are banned out. We've seen a lot of Terra throughout the tournament, so maybe
Ganesh?
A Ganesh perhaps, also that possible. Still open for grabs, however. Hachiman yet once again locked in for votes. He seemed very promising on that, and I like the choice.
It was crazy. I think it was like at the 20-minute mark, everyone had a, not a negative KDA, but looked like they were like feeding behind, and he was the only one with like a positive 6-2 KDA.
Wow. Altio in the soul lane and Discordia, assumingly in the mid lane. Now, Discordia is something, I love the character, and so does Emil.
This is what I was waiting for, though, because looking at NRG's strat, this is the perfect target pick selection for Rival. Having that Ares to one more time look to try and burn out everything from NRG. You try to escape, you're met by Cabrakan. You try to escape again, you're met by the Ares.
Yeah, you ban Athena, we'll pick Ares, no problem. Gosh, Rival's looking so good right now.
I just love how the crowd goes absolutely wild seeing the Ares here, and I think if it goes to Callus again, we're going to see some great stuff from him.
I mean, we've seen Ares before at Smite World Championships win games, be the turnaround point. So I'm not too surprised with it between the cripple and his ult. He is a fantastic Guardian. But everyone, we are ready for game number 3. Is this going to be it for Rival? Are they going to take down the World Championships? Let's go to the casters to find out.
Tom Ballinger here with Anatoly Alexeyenok for what could be the conclusion of the semifinals here. The biggest question, which I think is on everybody's mind, Toly, is that NRG have played 2 games, lost 2 games. NRG have played Ullr 2 games and lost 2 games. What's up?
I think they're just not playing aggressive enough with this Ullr pick. They almost found a kill onto Wlfy in the first game around like level 3, level 4 marker.
But he was too hot.
It was just too hot, got away in that tier 2 tower, but they couldn't capitalize with anything else. They even got Gold Furies early on. They just overstep a little bit too much and they get punished for it. That game number 2 during the left side Phoenix Siege is just what allowed Rival to get back into it.
Vote's been doing the majority of the damage here for the squad, which is why Wlfy's able to sort of, well, Vote actually takes the damage here. This iceicebaby out of nowhere.
Oh,
the Tremors
the third chain.
The Tremors are good. Raffer is dead. Raffer is absolutely dead.
The Med, though, he keeps him alive for a little bit longer. Callus, he wants to get his chain cooldowns coming back up. The question is he going to keep going here? No, he was thinking about going, but he didn't have his blink. The double blink even from Ice and Callus to start things off.
Did you see the relic he has? He has Curse, Caster's Curse.
Ah.
I'll eat that one. That was a surprise Cabrakan Tremors in the jungle. He absolutely should have been dead. I think the problem was that since Vote took so much damage, he felt he was a little bit scared about committing fully in. The support Callus doesn't have that ranged auto.
So what happened was Callus blinked in. He actually hits the first chain on Emil, and then the second one onto iRaffer, misses the third. If either the first or the third connect onto iRaffer, 2 chains is all it needs to find the first blood.
Welcome to Atlanta.
That's right.
But on a serious note, just really nice wiggles coming out from Emil in the slot right there. And again, I mean, last game we saw Wlfy just barely get out of there. That was game number 1. Barely get out of there, avoiding the first blood. And here we see Emil, do the same thing. Very, very talented folks here in Team Rivals.
Finding some poke. How do they do it? They're looking for some poke. Emil knows that he could have gone for Callus a little bit more with some damage, but he'd rather clear the wave. Rival are on the back foot, recognizing that both iRaffer and Emil are level 3. They have the lane pressure. Purple and red buff are not available to strip away, but instead, NRG are going to go for these oracles. And with how aggressive Ares has been for Callus and the rest of Rival, that's how aggressive NRG needs to be with this Ullr pick.
Exactly. When you know, it's interesting. I always talk about teams playing towards their strengths and picking what they're good at. But you also have to play to the strengths of the actual characters you select. If you're going to be using Cobb and sit on your own tower, you're not making use of that push. If you're going to be Ares and not blink on people and look for that damage, what the hell are you doing playing Ares anyway? So Callus shows up, does exactly what you need to do, picking this character, and it's been successful pretty much his whole career.
Speaking of other characters being picked, Discordia by Yammyn here in their elimination game, surprisingly. Not many options available for him in terms of his comfort picks. Ryzen always stripped away from him, didn't want to go for the Morrigan yet again that time around, would rather create a little bit of strife in the jungle.
Like it. I did like that one. Yammyn, however, it's interesting. We've seen Discordia played, and she has been...
Oh, wow. Solo lane. That's amazing here. Deathwalker paired up with iceicebaby. The blink was used by this Cabrakan jungle, catching the level 4 Artio alone. Couldn't get away, even using the purification beads, but it wasn't enough.
Just the collapse, man. I mean, what are you going to do? The Cabrakan is so deadly at level 1. You need to really just watch out for it. iceicebaby playing it this time in the jungle. Solo lane yourself, Cabrakan. We saw him solo lane. Now we're going to see him in the jungle. What's the difference here?
It's just more pressure in the mid lane specifically, because Yammyn, he can use his 3 to get away, but not when the Cabrakan is going to look for the stun, force an early escape, and then look for the walls after.
Here's a second look at that kill over in the solo lane. The dash is down. That's what you do to Artio. As soon as she dashes, well, you kill her. And down goes maniaKK, the first blood for Team Rival there. Just that very simple play.
Easy
Very
peasy.
simple.
maniaKK specifically was a little bit too far forward clearing that wave, very close to the tower line from Rival, and this early in the game, there's no wards, no vision to spot that rotation.
Well, Colin.
No beats.
Gonna be able to get it one more time. maniaKK,
He's dead.
flamed up. He's flamed
so
up.
dead.
And right now, he's gonna run away, adapting in Yammyn with the rotation. This could be bad for Rival.
Here comes the counter rotation. Yammyn secures out Callus. I thought for sure maniaKK would have been dead there. That blink ultimate from Callus abusing no beads on maniaKK. I don't think he connected on all 3 chains there.
Nah, same thing that we saw earlier in the game, but you know, Artio is one of the, another one of these hotly controversial characters. Everybody says she's very, very strong, and my answer to that statement is always just kill her, which sounds oversimplified. But right now we're seeing exactly Team Rival are doing exactly what you need to do. maniaKK has a dash available to him, and that's pretty much it. If you're able to shut down the dash, you can collapse and kill her. Deathwalker, iceicebaby, and Callus, all characters that are able to deal with that. P.S. Wlfy has a silence as well.
That's true. Wlfy is going to be very annoying. iRaffer caught in a bad spot. He's forced to use a Wrath of Terror defensively, but iceicebaby took a lot of damage there. ML is right around the corner, but he gets cut off by Wlfy's Spirit Ball.
Why didn't iceicebaby ult there and separate iRaffer from the team?
I think that iceicebaby was a little too hesitant. He would rather look for the poke with the stuns, wait for Wlfy to commit there. Wlfy didn't also have enough mana for a long engagement, so better to find the poke, find the reset. They got the ultimate from iRaffer, so that's a win.
Sure. Going to our conversation earlier as Deathwalker gets aggressed on, brought down to half HP, jumps over the wall, adapting, will he commit? Yes, he will.
His ultimate just came up.
There's the ult. He's gonna walk away. And Deathwalker.
Not enough. That is. I think that's enough.
Tick.
One more. No, the passive. The Lord of the Afterlife gives you all 8 stacks there, and that 16% physical mitigation is all that was necessary. Keep in mind, Last Breath goes through protections, but the passive stops the bleeding.
One of the few things that actually will mitigate that damage coming out for Serqet in the entire game. So Osiris, definitely a big pick here. Serqet, however, comes up short that time, comes up short pretty much the entire series.
That's very true. Being 0-2 and adapting, he's not willing to kind of change his ways. With Robin being banned from Rival, there's other picks that adapting has been known for. His Thor, specifically, like where is adapting's Thor? His Camazotz, where has that been this whole tournament?
I don't know. Obviously, the Robin is going to be banned out, but you know, Zapman didn't make it to Worlds this time, but he still has a lot of good information. And Zap Online earlier said just Serqet doesn't have the impact in the late game team fights. Everybody just sort of collapses on her and she dies. And we saw that pretty much this entire time. I don't know why NRG keep going back.
It's just his style. He likes the assassins. This has been what he built a name from himself for, you know, sometimes playing even the Thanatos back in like yesteryear of Season 2, but this time around, he's going back to more of a traditional style, which wasn't what made him successful, I think, in Season 4 and towards the end of Season 3.
No. I have no problem with him going the burst assassin, but there are so many other options. It's not like Circuit or Hunbats or bust, right? There are other options for adapting, and we're just seeing him go to the Circuit.
I think that NRG are more focused about trying to stop the aggression from Rival than necessarily trying to fix any of their picks. The first 3 picks from this game and the last exactly the same. It was Sylvanas, Circuit, and Ullr, and I think that they're very comfortable with all 3 of those picks. And keep in mind, like, even if you're down 0-2, NRG being the 2-time world defending champions, they can still shake that game off, come into this game 3 fresh.
Very, very true. But I look at the jungle pick and the hunter pick as 2 very different conversations. Ullr hasn't worked out in these first 2 games, but you can still say he's good. He's not the reason that they're losing these fights.
Nice stun.
Oh, he's so hot.
That is so good, because then that doesn't allow Callus to continue with a second chain.
Here comes adapting. Chain's not available for Callus for another couple of seconds. Instead, looking at Vote. There's a rotation coming the way. There's a pull, protecting it, and the team fight. Adapting, looking for more.
iRaffer pulled out 1, preventing the stun onto adapting. iceicebaby's gonna get Circuit ultimate, but it's Emil soloing Callus alone on the left. That's how you do it with the Ullr. Play aggressive.
Deathwalker, however, not done just yet. Finds the somersault. Beautiful play. Yammyn surrounded. Deathwalker still looking for it. One more shot will do it, but she's invisible. It doesn't matter. Wlfy finds the kill.
The Strife only hits out 1. It's a 1-for-1 at the end of the day. Support from mid lane or Rival comes out on top ever so slyly in this engagement. They're now looking at the Oracles. I highly doubt they're going to go for Wlfy. Not making the rotation, though, is maniaKK.
Yeah, Yammyn's down, but still doesn't really open the objective for Team Rival, despite the fact that they actually have a fantastic objective position one more time.
Especially with Emil not having any mana here at all in the dual lane, and also maniaKK sticking in the solo lane. Maybe that could have been the opening of the door towards the Wlfy, but better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we said no way they do it, and then as we have this conversation, maybe they should.
Maybe they could have. But we also have the information that maybe they didn't, right? Maybe they didn't really look at Emil's mana. Maybe they didn't pay attention to maniaKK still being in that solo.
Also, just because you can do something doesn't mean you absolutely should. We've seen a couple of teams really throw these objectives. I mean, to NRG. emilitoo was able to steal a Wlfy with his hail of arrows earlier in the week here at HRX, and Team Rival, a little bit too smart for that one. Going to play conservatively. Right now, 10 minutes in, Fire Giant just spawning now. We're tied up.
Vote is a little bit ahead in terms of the stacking department of these Devo gloves, but more importantly is Wlfy playing this Isis with half completed stacks on his Warlock Sash. More offensively mindset is Yammyn with the Doom Orb, the different styles between these mids. Time in and time out, we've been seeing Discordia throughout this tournament being picked up by the Doom Orb. I like the idea here, but keep in mind, if you just have more cooldown reduction, spamming that Strife, spamming your third ability to get more Strifes out there also is a great way to win these team fights.
Callus is in trouble. Callus is just dead. Nothing for him to do there, but Iceice, he's all
double
in trouble.
stun,
Can
Yammyn
he
gets
go around?
caught.
He does. That's a kill for iceicebaby.
Oh, the poison though from adapting is so good onto iceicebaby. That's a 2-for-1 energy. Better end of that one, sacrificing Yammyn again, and Wlfy caught alone in a 1v3. Make that a 3-for-1.
He does find the stun, but unfortunately he will fall down. Vote going to be chased underneath the tier 1 tower. maniaKK looking fantastic here.
The Hail of Arrows,
shot
can he
from
find it?
emilitoo won't be enough.
Oh, I thought he had the Hail of Arrows available to try to clean up the kill onto Vote. Now making the...
no.
Adapting. He was thinking about it for a little bit longer, but will secure the red buff steal instead. Deathwalker a little bit too late to the party this time around.
If Kenneth has Blink, adapting is getting that kill.
Oh, absolutely. No hesitation.
No.
This is the playmaker adapting that we're talking about here. He will dive not only the tier 2 tower, but the Phoenix if he knows he'll gonna find a kill onto Vote.
NRG right now, they've got both red buffs, one on iRaffer, that's besides the point, but they've been able to maintain control of the jungle, and that's really important for these early game situations. One is going to be keeping you competitive as far as the gold is concerned. You can see NRG trying to keep that 500 gold lead just relevant, but also it's going to make sure that your Team Rival is unable to really find their footing, because once you give this team an inch, they're taking a mile, as we both seen in the first 2 games.
That's all that they're really looking for here, but hold that thought, is adapting. He gets level 12, he gets the Blink, second relic. They're onto Wlfy. He doesn't have relics to escape, and that's going to be a clean pick as Yammyn finds that one. He doesn't want to go for Rangda's Mask this time around, which would have been really cool for him considering he has 2 kills and 2 assists.
It's always how it works. You take the risk when you fail, and then when you don't take the risk, you crush it. But There's the answer. Adapting does have Blink this time. No hesitation and finds the kill. Just easy peasy.
Still gets those 5 stacks on the Doomer for the kill, so getting even more magical power there available. iceicebaby chilling in the mid lane. Yammyn needs to be careful though, because that burst damage from a Kabrakan at level 11 is too high.
But again, talking about that Doom Orb, you keep bringing it up. I love it. Love it on Discordia because she has a great late game and a miserable early game. I mean, that early game, you can't really do anything. The Doom Orb is going to amplify that. You don't agree?
I think that she can still, you know, be a nuisance. She's not going to do the damage that you might necessarily want. She doesn't have the best clear compared to other mages. Sure, you're going to falter in that regard, but that's why you pair that up with an Ullr or an AMC, you know, finding somebody to help you get through that level 1 hump, and therefore you'll transition fine in the mid game anyway.
Certainly bringing the damage in the late game. Earlier this week, we saw Obey Alliance's mid lane Pretty Prime play Discordia, and it was a much different story than the other times we saw Discordia this weekend. Newest god in Smite, ton of burst in the late game, and Pretty Prime showed us why people like her. And right here, Yammyn looking to do the same. Another accomplished mid laner trying to turn up with a new guy.
Usually new gods are always played at Worlds anyway. The Chiron and the Soul in Season 2. Season 1, I believe it was the Ao Kuang that was specifically heavily prioritized. A little bit of a pillow fight yet again in the Soul lane. Deathwalker on the losing end of maniaK simply because of the sustain that Artio gets once you use every ability. Not to mention that 20% cooldown reduction from the Breastplate of Valor.
Grouped up as 3 is NRG in the opposition's jungle here. Looking for that red buff spawn, which should come in a matter of moments. Wlfy and Kalas, iceicebaby as well, making their way into their own jungle. Wlfy being zoned out by Emil himself. Kalas coming around looking for it. There's the blink on in, and one chain is good.
The blink is good. Taking a lot of damage though is Kalas. He's still holding on to his ultimate. A triple knock on Kalas. Gets pulled in.
But Wlfy had the ultimate. Not enough to save Collins just yet. iRaffer half HP. Rival need to focus their damage. Emil's low, Adapting's low, iRaffer's low, but Ice is lower, Vote is lower.
He just jumped in.
Target.
He just jumped in trying to go secure some kills. Ice and Vote extremely low. Yammyn with the strike gets the kill on iceicebaby. That's 2 dead members from Rival. And Wlfy, door has been opened.
Kalas' death right there, that happens. You see that? Oh well. iceicebaby's death right there. That's when you get yelled at for by your coach.
Yeah, pretty much there. NRG now with their first Wlfy of the game at the 15-minute mark, but keep in mind, all game long, all set long, NRG with the first Wlfy, and it's a rival that finds their way back into the game.
The first 25 minutes have belonged to NRG in all these sets, even the one where they didn't have the early game composition. I think that was the one. That was game number 1, and that's the one that really made me go, okay, Rival, you're here for real. It was a Chronos versus an Isis, and
yeah,
the Isis wins late game. Okay, sure. What do I know?
And now the question is, how is Wlfy gonna build this Isis? Is he gonna go for another Stone of Binding later in the game, trying to complement the damage that Kalas can dish out? I'm expecting it later on, honestly, because the way Kalas has been positioning himself around those team fights.
Well, maniaK gonna get rotated on and walk away. Rival's tier 1 tower on the right-hand side, under a little bit of pressure, but I don't think anybody really cares about that one just yet.
Looking for something to happen on the right as maniaK is paired up with Adapting on the right. Portal Demon could be the next objective, with Wlfy still down for another 3.5 minutes long. Emil not really doing too much in terms of 1v1 action against Vote, but he found a really nice kill onto Kalas when there was a lot of action around that purple buff. But other than that, he hasn't been aggressive enough as an Ullr player.
You've been asking for it all set. You want to see this Emil, you want to see this Ullr very aggressive. How do you want to see him aggressive? Do you want to see him jump in and just start team fights? Do you want to see him rotating? Do you want to see him paying attention to objectives? Aggressive can mean so many things, Toli. So what do you want to see from the Ullr?
Just force out a little 1v1 action, force out some rotations. As long as your team has the vision control around the Wlfy side, you're going to spot out iceicebaby.
There's a taunt onto Deathwalker. Zigzag's good. Ultimate won't secure it. He needs the in-hand, can't find it. maniaK under the tower looking for the chase, and that might be good enough, but here comes the rest of Team Rival. iRaffer's here too. Ult is good. Deathwalker, gone.
Finally securing the kill onto Deathwalker. The shell bought him a moment, but iRaffer's rotation on the top-hand side was so clutch. Without iRaffer there, they do not secure Deathwalker. They do not secure the Tier 1 solo tower.
That is what iRaffer is known for. That is what iRaffer's made a career off of. That is why iRaffer is so damn impressive. We've been casting iRaffer for years, and repeatedly his team gets in trouble, he shows up, and everything's okay.
Emil actually having to use his Aegis there earlier behind the jungle side. It might be a little bit of nerves on the Hunter from NRG.
I don't believe you.
I think so. It was only a Heavenly Banner from both that he used his Aegis on, nothing else.
I don't think it's nerves, I think it's the fact there's a lot of damage that can be threatened. Portal Demon gonna go down. NRG picked that one up, easy peasy.
An item we haven't seen in quite a while here. iceicebaby being picked up by Vote here. An item that's got nerfed a little bit to the ground here, but it's just trying to get the physical power gap disparity between Emil, between Vote. If you're having that little 1v1 Hunter battle, reducing the enemy's physical power, you're gaining it yourself. And I think that's more important towards reducing Adapting's physical power if you're gonna be hitting him instead.
I mean, it's a great bridge item. It's still very inexpensive. Most important item, you need Devo gloves. You absolutely need Devo gloves these days.
Which he has.
Exactly. And after that, you have a little bit of wiggle room. So right now, Team Rival down 6 kills, 9-3, trying to dig their way back in this one the way they've done all set long. Down 5,000.
NRG are just going to continue to be grouped up, which is the way they have to be playing, considering iRaffer is the Sylvanas. They heavily prioritize this pick in games 2 and 3. First, picking it and having some success in honestly both games, but they need to find ways to close out the games. Every single time NRG has a lead, they find one way to just overextend ever so slightly and give it back to Rival. But if they take these little steps here, like they are, between sieging Tier 1 and finding pull up to Deathwalker, that they can get something.
Drawn right into the clutches, and a great ultimate from iRaffer, but just no follow-up.
No follow-up whatsoever. iRaffer, though, took a lot of his health. The sprint being used from Rival. They're going to try to chase this down, but maniaKK is being the zone buffer, zoning out all 5 Rival members. He takes a lot of damage, more than what was probably worth, but look on the left-hand side. Who was waiting the whole time? Adapting.
Exactly. He's always lurking, always waiting in the wings. He's like Swedish Slender Man, just always chilling in the shadow like, I'm gonna get you.
I was thinking more like Batman. He's like always in the darkness. He's like, my team needs me.
No, that was me last year, Tully.
We don't talk about last year.
So something interesting about this iceicebaby build is that it's very inexpensive, but you need more items. I need to see an Aussie to really amplify this and make me okay with it. The combination of those two inexpensive items, Aussie's 17, 1800, those sort of grid items, when combined, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for this mid-game sort of comeback, I like this sort of inexpensive build pack.
Looking at their second goal, here is NRG 30 seconds ago, extending their goal lead to 6,000 at the almost 21-minute mark. This is a good idea here for NRG to start continuing pressuring these objectives, because Rival, they're not going to be forcing anything anytime soon themselves, so it's NRG's ball in their court.
That's fair. And like I said, Team Rival has been able to fight back in Game 1 and Game 2, Tony, but the 6,000 gold lead is larger than what NRG has had earlier on. It was 3 here, 4 here, 6, 7. That can start to snowball out of control. Rival absolutely has to make sure that these tower defensive stops, if they're going to play defense, they can't lose too many people. If you lose 2 players, you're losing a fire giant.
Deathwalker now making his rotation happen right behind the Tier 1 tower. It's a 5-on-5 in the mid lane as NRG is looking to pick off somebody or anybody. The idea behind NRG's push and siege is all Yammyn. Can he hit that second ability strike, hit multiple members, find the long-range damage follow-up?
And see right there, he misses the strife and almost a full retreat from NRG.
Full almost on the mark onto Deathwalker. And I love what Deathwalker is doing here, considering that he has his passive fully stacked up. He wants to absorb all that damage. He wants the abilities to be onto himself and not the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, please pull me, says Deathwalker. He's got a ton of health with his build, which I absolutely love, because the natural damage reduction from the character will sort of take the place of protections in this moment.
Looking at Adapting's build, he has Ankile available if you want. He found a root though onto Deathwalker. maniaK's gonna continue the root, but there's no follow-up damage. Yammyn still abusing those cooldowns. Meanwhile, Adapting is just stealing away some more farm, trying to separate the gap here. Looking at iceicebaby's level 14 Kabrakin, this level 17 Circuit on Adapting has been on a pretty good run. 3-0-5, almost 100% kill participation.
Pull on the Wlfy, he's gonna walk away with the wing guns. Here comes Kalas with an ult of his own. Nobody gets pulled. There's an ultimate from Discordia. iceice finds an ult. Everybody trading, nobody getting down. Kalas still healthy.
Up and down goes Deathwalker. The damage is just spread all across the board. Inside the cloud is Yammyn. Finally, the ultimate onto iceicebaby. Shell being used. Adapting is so low. He's forced to retreat on the south side. The sprint from Rival. They're going down the tier 1 tower, but the stun onto Vote is so good.
Rival are looking for that re-engage, that reinitiation. Once they realized it didn't come immediately, they walked away. Love that discipline.
It's so difficult to lock down the Circuit here. With Magai's Blessing, with Ankile, you get into the backline as the Circuit, and now you're going to be silencing people once you take any sort of magical damage.
Well, that right there is also the prime example of what NRG wants to do. We questioned the Circuit. I did, you did. We talked about Zapman, and I'm sure Twitter everywhere was. But right there, NRG showed us what's up. iRaffer gets the pull, which means Adapting can safely ult. If Adapting is in the back line finding the ultimate, then he just gets clapped on. But if he's with his team over here, then his team collapses on him. I'd rather be surrounded by friends than enemies.
Despite NRG not finding the tier 1 mid tower, they're still able to get something out of it. They stole away Rival's speed buff. They secured themselves the portal demon. They're up almost about 7,000 gold here at the 24-minute mark. They're going to be looking at Fire Giant, I think, relatively soon, or maybe just wait this 1 minute for Gold Fury.
And right now, I think Team Rival, this is a best case scenario for Team Rival. It's a 7,000 gold lead, but it's not growing. And right now, Wlfy wants to get a little bit more itemization.
Oh, the blink onto Yammyn. He's forced to retreat very early. iRaffer, he gets silenced as well. The Discordia Golden Apple, the knockup onto 3 members. Out goes 1. Wlfy falls. iceicebaby is looking to be next, unless it's going to be Kalas under that tier 1 mid.
Double kill for Adapting. Yammyn, 3 kills without a death. 3 players down. Meanwhile, Deathwalker split pushing on the right-hand side. Fire Giant is on the menu for the defending world champion.
Not where you want to be if you're Rival. Despite them being down at both games 1 and 2 and finding good comebacks, this gap is starting to get a little bit out of control here. NRG making the first important statement of the game with this Fire Giant.
What was the biggest issue there? Because Team Rival just didn't seem like they had the same sort of team fight that they had earlier in the set.
It was just a lot of damage being done onto Yammyn. That was the primary target initially, but keep in mind, Yammyn can go through walls, so that Kabrakin ultimate didn't really mean much there, especially with the follow-up from iRaffer. They couldn't really find the kill there, and he used the Wrath of Terror.
There's also a beautiful ultimate coming out from Discordia. Yammyn played it really, really well. And look at this, Deathwalker doing this, Deathwalker dying over here, gets some Gold Fury.
Look where Vote is, though. He's trying to back under a purple buff.
He got it. He's fine. He's good, dude.
Adapting sees it. Oh, Vote just barely gets back into base in the nick of time. Securing the Gold Fury for Rival is so important because now NRG can't get it themselves. The bleeding gets stabilized a little bit.
That's such a Team Rival play. Deathwalker goes, hey guys, I'm gonna troll them by their Phoenix, and Vote says, okay, and you can't understand him, but he still gets the Gold Fury. It's wonderful.
If there's ever 2 trolley players on Rival, it's definitely Deathwalker and Vote. Hand in hand.
I mean, iceicebaby, you ever talk to him?
Yeah, I interviewed him after the Spring Gauntlet where he put on shades after beating Adapting and NRG, and he says, I've adapted.
Yeah, I mean, iceicebaby's the guy that comes in and he's like, hey,
Is that how he really talks?
Gonna be the best. Yeah, ask him.
I have to believe you there.
right now he finds himself down, but you know, I think he still has that sort of attitude behind the scenes. And again, I mentioned in game number 2, Team Rival really with that steadfast mental gameplay allows them to stay competitive. But right now, NRG in this game look unstoppable.
4 members from NRG on the left. Adapting is zoning away Ice on the right there. Tier 2 tower from Rival takes a little bit of damage, not too much, but NRG are not done yet with this siege. Still 2 more minutes remain with their Fire Giant. They have the sustain from that buff. They have the sustain from iRaffer, Sylvanas. Also, even the protections from that Lotus Crown.
Adapting is being controlled by Ice all the way over there.
Naga from iRaffer. The post on the boat.
Adapting in the back line. He gets the ult on the Horseman. Stunned out, however. Adapting surrounded. Vote's still in trouble. Vote's going down. Adapting with the kill.
They got him finally after a little bit. Multiple shells were tried to use. Here comes Callus with a double circle of protection under the Phoenix as well. Adapting is forced to retreat. Rival, though, they can look for more. The chain is good onto maniaKK. That's 2 chains. Make that 3. He's taking a little bit of damage, but Rival are taking even more.
Now, we saw Team Rival get a couple of kills and then end the game quickly, Toli. Can NRG do that here?
They very well could, potentially, if they find more kills like that on iceicebaby. Can NRG come back in this set? There's 3 dead members. It's only Wlfy. It's only Deathwalker. The Titan is too strong to go for right now. Tier 2 mid remains alongside the Tier 2 in the solo lane. You don't want to overextend.
Playing very carefully here. NRG going to clean up the towers. Instead, love that Emperor's armor as well. NRG knows if they're going to siege. This is an item that iRaffer was actually one of the early adopters for. He was one of the first players to pick up this Emperor's armor, and I absolutely love it in this stage of the game. It's going to make your tower stronger, but NRG don't care. They're more concerned about making the enemy towers less strong. They're going to send their whole squad underneath the tower, underneath the Phoenix, no fear. And what's been a fantastic move for defensive teams in this season, we've seen teams defend under the Phoenix so often that Emperor's armor is really going to hurt.
iRaffer has just been such a staple for this NRG team. You know, finding these players and just forming the team with what they used to be normally known as Panthera back in the day, transforming into Epsilon, now here as NRG. They still not much has changed, whether it was Dimmy or maniaKK in the solo lane. Same can be said about Obey's switch in the solo lane. The 4 core people of this roster still make what it is, and it's that man iRaffer that's been making it happen.
I mean, we've seen a resurgence of energy. No bones about it. This team was not good. Relatively not good in the beginning of the season. And Adapting had his crown taken away as, you know, unanimous best player. Adapting's looking great. Everybody sort of back to their original form, and NRG are scary.
They're very scary here. So scary that Rival don't want anything to do on that jungle side. 16-3. Read the kills heading into the 30-minute mark as Fire Giant's respawning right here. Adapting, clearing out the wave on the right side. You want to try to get the minions far enough there to get some vision control.
So this Fire Giant, is this NRG's for free, or can Team Rival fight?
I think that Team Rival cannot fight at all. The knockup coming from iRaffer, Golden Apple being used as well. Deathwalker very low, Shell being used from Rival to escape. Sprint being popped by NRG. They're trying to find one pick.
It's a 4-on-5.
Need.
It's a 4-on-5. Wlfy is not in this one. Tries to throw the ultimate over the wall. Doesn't happen. Be aggressive by Adapting. Wlfy's gone.
Wlfy was caught alone over the wall there. The Isis cannot be out of position like that. Warlock Sash was not enough to keep him alive. The left side, there's some fire minions flooding in. Mid Phoenix is going down as well. I think NRG might be looking to be even more aggressive. No, they're gonna play it super safe. No risk here. They still need one more tier 2 tower. They want the Fire Giant. They want this first game under their belt.
A rare mistake by Wlfy. A rare positioning mistake by Wlfy, I'll say specifically. As the Isis, you need to be with the squad because that ultimate, it's not a raw ult that's going to go through walls and impact the team fight. It's not a new raw ult that's going to hit everybody no matter where they're at. Your ultimate, 1, it's relatively short range, and 2, in order to get the most use of it, it has to be on all of your teammates. He throws it on a back camp in half of the wall. It was the best he had at the it was the best available option at the moment, but he should have been in the position to have better options available, and because of it, Team Rival lose the team fight.
He was trying to get the circle protection and the spirit ball over the wall, but Adapting could also jump over. Right side lane though, NRG, they now have Fire Giant. 2 Phoenixes have fallen. Right one is the only one remaining. A little bit of poke from Yammyn onto Callus and iceicebaby. They're at half health. This is basically a 4-on-5.
I want a full commit here. Wlfy's ultimate is up in a matter of moments. I want to see Callus with the pull, Wlfy with the ult, and everybody collapse. But right now, half HP on the Phoenix, a little bit scary.
Deathwalker very low. He's forced to retreat. The right side Phoenix is still very low. Left side has respawned, but there's going to be some fire minions tickling down that lane. 4-man knockup from iRaffer. Golden apple onto iceicebaby. Adapting finds iceicebaby. Callus pulls in a couple
Big
members.
numbers, big damage. emilitoo gets him with the fountain. 2 kills for Adapting. Best game.
That has to be
Best
it.
game.
Deathwalker is dead. It's a DS side. NRG, they find game number 3 here. Their first one of the set. They are going a little bit forward.
Don't forget, this is a 5-game series. NRG back against the wall. It do not matter. These are the defending world champions, and they're not going down without a fight.
Never count out NRG. They talked about it in the backstage, how they were able to make these adjustments, what they needed to do, what they needed to pick, and it just worked out beautifully there in game number 3.
NRG, it's all about the cool, calm, and collected approach for these guys. They come backstage, they sit in their huddle. Nobody's yelling, nobody's screaming. They're discussing the game and how they adjust. NRG, we can't hear them, but we can hear the analysts. What happens?
I definitely got to agree with Tom there. Not just cool, calm, and collected outside of the game, but in the game as well. They weren't overly aggressive. When they reached that middle of the game, they didn't really try and dive the Phoenixes or dive the towers that we saw them do in games 1 and 2. NRG's back in this.
Rival was also making the mistakes. We were all discussing it, but Rival just kept not fighting underneath their objectives like they had been in the previous matches. When they were initially taking those team fights away from NRG, it was typically because they had that 6-man follow-up from Phoenix shots, from the T2 Towers shots, and that helps out greatly whenever it's getting really chaotic in those team fights.
I have to give credit to NRG though. Anytime that they were going for the Phoenix and they felt a little like it was too unsafe, they would back off and wait for them to come and aggress on them.
Yeah, I really feel like the Phoenix Siege is coming together now. We see an early Emperor's Armor on iRaffer here, and NRG's finally hitting their stride. And Yammyn, he's hitting a Strife on Discordia here. I think the pick really made the team work and come together. He's looking so much better. Now he's on a mage, and he's looking for so much burst, and he's just putting the entire team fights in such a different situation. I love it.
Do you think that Discordia brings more burst than other gods could potentially?
I wouldn't even point it at necessarily the Discordia's burst as much as it is that ultimate is perfect for doing what NRG needs to do to Rival's composition. You want them to spread apart. The best way to get them to spread apart is by taking an ultimate that they don't want to spread to the rest of their team. If it explodes and you're in the radius of another one of your teammates, then they're going to also be under those effects and having to take the damage from that ult. So it's just a really smart way for NRG to work into the backline a lot easier. We saw multiple occasions where Adapting was actually able to find his ultimate on single target picks, and sometimes it would die and sometimes it would live, but it just caused Rival to expend so much in the process.
Do you guys still agree with Adapting Circuit pick?
It is still up for debate, but I think this game it worked out perfectly. He had some trouble finding the right targets, but once, for example, in the late game, the Wlfy pick finally happened, and that kind of sealed the game for him. And even the early game, obviously, Circuit is a great character for the early game, sets up Discordia perfectly fine, and allows him to get these early leads. I feel like if Rival want to counteract what NRG is doing in the early game, they have to look at Circuit.
Honestly, I think they need to look at Sylvanas. iRaffer on Sylvanas was insane. He got a pull onto Cabrakan during his mid-stun through a wall and saved his teammates. He's so smart and he's so willing to sacrifice himself, but he doesn't die.
We can finally see why iRaffer got his Sylvanas banned out in the very first game. He feels at home in this character. He's hitting everything. The knockup's always on 4 people. It just shines.
Ooh, the Adapt King going 10-0 with Circuit. My gosh. Guess you're right. Circuit definitely seems to be the focus. Maybe Discordia as well. Or maybe NRG's just that good with all the gods.
Yeah, I think the draft is just... I called it a salty run back earlier, right? But I'm pretty sure that this is what NRG have practiced. This is what they want to run. And I'm glad they're sticking to it. I'm glad that they're not thrown too off, which, you know, like, it would have been fine to understand if they go for different team comp here, but the way they have it here and finally putting in the Discordia, it just all comes together.
I think I would still prefer to see NRG potentially bring something different to the table, adapting. He's proficient on basically any assassin and a few of the warriors as well. And I like the Circuit pick, but I feel after 3 matches of dealing with it, Rival might actually try to adjust their composition even more to deter NRG from leaning towards that pick.
So, what does Team Rival have to do here to get Game 3 out of this series?
I actually wasn't too big of a fan of them choosing the Cabrakan for themselves to play. Not that Ice isn't a good enough player to do it, but more so that it just felt a little bit out of place in Rival's composition. I understand the mentality behind wanting to lock off part of NRG's draft, but Rival is mostly drafting towards these defensive kind of compositions or the counter engage, and it's hard to have that sort of counter engage, or at least the massively offensive initiation post when it's Ice on the Cabrakan just trying to jump into the mix of everything, and there's great disengage because of those Sylvanas ultimates that keep coming out.
Demi, is it easier to win off of a reverse sweep than it is if you guys were going back and forth 1 game to 1 game to 1 game?
I personally like the 1 game to 1 game, game to 1 game. I think the reverse sweep is really awkward. There's a lot of pressure on you. You have to play perfectly, not drop a game. Back and forth is also stressful, but I think reverse sweep is something that NRG hasn't done in quite a while, and this is going to take a toll on them.
All right, guys, we will be right back with game number 4 with Rival versus NRG after this break.